We had no idea what awaited us as we hiked through the rugged Appalachian Trail. We embarked on our yearly hike on a cool fall day, when nature's brush transformed the leaves into fiery hues. The sun set, shadows fell, and we were in the forest. We encountered a spooky sight after 3 days of our adventure. A lifeless hiker was concealed within the dense underbrush. He had a pale complexion, blue-tinged lips, and empty eyes. I felt a sudden rush of adrenaline and an eerie sensation down my back. The woods went from serene to ominous right away. Mark and Sarah looked at each other anxiously, their faces pale in the sunlight. Mark's voice quivered as he expressed a need to check if he's okay. Nodding, my heart raced near the motionless figure. It was clear that this man had an unfortunate end as we approached. He had torn and filthy clothes, and his skin resembled the color of death. The air was heavy with the scent of decay. Sarah knelt and checked his pulse, always the bravest. She flinched, her face twisted in terror. "He's cold. He's not breathing," she faltered. I panicked, reaching for my phone to call for assistance. We lacked reception. We felt panic as we discovered ourselves stranded in the wilderness with an unknown person and no means to contact help. Mark whispered fearfully, asking for a course of action. We couldn't abandon the man in the woods. It was growing dark, and we couldn't simply leave. We relocated the hiker to increase his visibility on the trail in the hope of attracting someone to provide the necessary assistance. The lifeless body proved unexpectedly weighty as we attempted to raise it with quivering hands. The forest seemed to conspire against us. We moved him closer to the trail after a long time, only to find something more sinister. A barely visible crumpled paper was tucked under the hiker's lifeless hand. Mark retrieved it cautiously, and we felt a chilling shock as we read the frantic message written. "Help me, they're still out there. Don't trust anyone." It was a shocking disclosure. What did the missing hiker face on those challenging paths? From whom was he fleeing? We sensed a foreboding, immediate presence amid the forest, as though someone observed us. Out of nowhere, that tranquility was broken by the sound of rustling leaves from behind. 2 hooded men appeared from the shadows with malicious eyes. Their intentions were clear. They did not resemble fellow hikers. "You discovered our secret," one of them smirked. My heart raced. We hastily took the hiker's note and ran into the woods, pursued by the menacing strangers. We ran to avoid sharing the missing hiker's fate. The once inviting woods turned into a terrifying labyrinth. Our every step was haunted by the chilling echoes of our footsteps in the menacing pursuit of those unknown figures. Our sole aim was survival as we encountered something far more sinister than anticipated on this path. In the dark forest, our cries for help vanished into the wilderness, while the Appalachian Trail's shadows concealed the lurking horrors. When I discovered an online community of nature enthusiasts, I was excited to finally fulfill my long-standing desire of hiking the Appalachian Trail. I was excited to embark on the week-long adventure through the rugged wilderness with them. Things turned chilling on the 4th day, though the initial days were great. We were hiking on a thin ridge with the forest on both sides. The scent of pine filled the air, and only the crunch of leaves and occasional bird song could be heard. Then I heard it, a shrill, terrified scream. I became frozen, as did the others. Dan, one of my hiking buddies, asked, "What the hell was that?" I responded with uncertainty, my heart racing. "I heard distressing sounds." We tracked the noise, forcing through dense foliage. The increasing cries heightened my anxiety as I moved. At last, we found an open space where a battered and wounded woman lay. She had difficulty breathing, her eyes filled with terror. She pleaded for assistance, tears running down her grimy cheeks. I hurried to be by her, my heart pained for her. I inquired, maintaining a composed tone, "What occurred?" Despite her struggle, words eventually escaped her lips. "A member of our group. He made an attempt to kill me. He's dangerous." I cast a quick glance at my friends, and we exchanged anxious expressions. We required immediate action. We assisted the wounded woman in rising, and as we ventured further into the forest, she held on to me tightly. Sarah, a member of our emerging hiking group, informed us of her name. She described the horrifying events as we walked. She claimed Mark, one of our group members, grew more unpredictable during the hike. He had been making threatening remarks, and it had escalated to him using a knife to harm and frighten her. She had fled, but Mark remained in the wilderness, and her life was in danger. We were incredulous, but Sarah's eyes showed genuine fear. We had to locate Mark and ensure Sarah's safety. We had to urgently provide her with necessary medical assistance. We noticed a nearby danger in the dense forest. We silently maneuvered, preventing any sound that could expose us. Sarah held onto my arm, suppressing her shaky breath. The hours went by, and the setting sun created eerie shadows amidst the trees. We chose to establish camp, remaining watchful for any indication of Mark. I felt we were being watched as we huddled around the campfire, scanning the darkness with our flashlights. We endured a restless night, filled with frayed nerves. We set out again at dawn, resolved to locate Mark and end this ordeal. The once beautiful and adventurous Appalachian Trail had transformed into a fearful and dangerous landscape. We needed to be careful and stay united. The unforgettable hike left an indelible mark on me, as I was mesmerized by the stunning views and forever altered by a terrifying experience that transformed my perception of nature. At 18, my father and I embarked on the Appalachian Trail. We were all eager, with backpacks loaded, ready for adventure. It resembled a nightmare rather than an adventure. We had been hiking for hours when I found something odd. Clothes were tangled in some bushes. Finding clothes in the wilderness is unusual. My father and I shared confused looks. I'm not a detective, but my intuition told me these were more than ordinary clothes. They appeared deliberately arranged, as if intentionally positioned. Why would anyone do that in such a remote location? We sought to investigate, hoping to uncover a clue or a lead. As we delved further into the forest, we stumbled upon additional garments, strewn like crumbs. It felt eerie, as if we had accidentally come across a crime scene. Then we saw it. A human arm lay partially concealed amidst foliage and soil, not far from the path. I felt nauseous and almost vomited. It was unbelievable. A complete human arm, reminiscent of a horror movie. My dad doesn't panic often, but even he turned pale. We refrained from touching or messing with it. Instead, we simply backed away slowly. My thoughts raced, questioning the arm's owner and its arrival. We rapidly rushed back to the trailhead. Our hiking trip ended before it truly started. We immediately dialed emergency services upon obtaining a phone signal. I informed them about the clothes, the arm, the entire strange situation. The authorities quickly arrived and began searching the area. That arm belonged to a missing woman from years ago. They had been searching for her, but her body remained undiscovered. It was an eerie, real-life enigma. We were questioned by the cops, our statements were taken, and we were thanked for finding that crucial evidence. They said they would continue searching, but I didn't want to know what else they could discover. The experience kept me afraid of the dark for weeks. No progress made in locating the remaining parts of the woman's body after several years. She disappeared mysteriously while on that mountain. I wonder about her fate and who is to blame when recalling the hike. This is a lesson for all adventurous people. Stay alert while hiking in the wilderness. You never know what unexpected discoveries may occur, and occasionally, they are memories you'd prefer to erase.